Hello everyone, and welcome back. Today, while I'm working on a larger, more complicated video that's probably one of the most highly edited things I've ever made, I'm going to bring you a quick little rundown and discussion of one of the most highly contended tips that people have for Deep Rock Galactic. Now I say tips with inflection in my voice because some people will strongly disagree with this while other people will adamantly support it. So the question I'd like to pose to you is, should you mine gold? Now I'm not a fan of clickbait so much myself, so I'll go ahead and give you the answer right now. If you want to play as efficiently as possible, no, you should not mine gold unless you're waiting on something else to happen, like a drop pod to return or a pump sequence on refinery. Those are the only times that you should waste your attention mining gold in any capacity. Obviously, the amount of gold you'll get from any mission varies wildly based on mutators, modifiers, the pots of gold buff beer, Crassus detonators, gold chunks, golden loot bugs, the list goes on. But at the end of the day, let's just think about how much the gold that you get is actually worth. Every unit of gold that you deposit into a minehead mule or enter the drop pod with in your pockets is worth 2 credits. However, this is affected by hazard bonus. So potentially you can get over 6 credits per unit with a double warning, maximum length and complexity mission. But on the other hand, shorter missions will pay out proportionally less because the scaling and modifiers will keep it much lower, giving you only about 2.5 per unit. Now let's go over some numbers and math to back this up. Here we have a Hazard 1 mission. If we take the gold that we mined and divide the amount of credits that we receive by it, we get 2.5 roughly. And as we can see, we have a 25% bonus from this being Hazard 1, no length, no complexity, so that's right in line with 2 credits baseline with an additional 25%, giving us 2.5. Now if we jump up to Hazard 5 with a 155% bonus, we can see the math holds true, with each unit of gold being worth roughly 5 credits. Now this all sounds well and good. The higher difficulty you go, the more you get paid for every unit of gold you bring back. But depending on your efficiency and speed as a mining crew, this amount of gold might slow down your completion of the overall mission, which will pay out as much if not more unless you mine an inordinate amount of gold. But all of this doesn't really make a case against gold. At the end of the day, no matter how much it slows you down, it's still a bonus amount of credits, right? Well, I'd like to direct your attention somewhere else, on this same statistics screen, over to the crafting minerals. At any and every stage of the game, you will almost always have an abundance of one type of crafting mineral. If you identify which type this is, and you're also short on credits at the same time, you can definitely sell off some of the excess to make up the deficit. And I really think the beauty is in the details of that there, in that minerals can be sold for credits if you need to, but at the same time, they're a crafting mineral that you need. So it gives you a sort of tangible asset to leverage in whatever way you need. If you need Jadas to stay Jadas to craft overclocks, then it can, but at a moment's notice you can turn it into credits to support crafting something else. Realistically, what I'm thinking of is endgame grinding for that 147,000 credit promotion that repeats every 25 levels for max level dwarves. These promotions also come with a steep mineral cost, but it's not so steep that you can't surmount it with normal missions or mineral manias. I would go so far to say that even in a best case scenario, gold cannot contend with the value that selling crafting minerals provides you, and even when you do sell crafting minerals, you still can maintain enough to perform the most expensive repeating action in the game, which is max level promotions. And for a good example, here's the end screen from a Pots of Gold Crassus detonator mission. Paying less attention to the scaling, we can see we received over 18,000 credits just from gold alone from this mission. However, if we add the crafting minerals together and multiply them by their sell value, we see that that amount of gold that took us a whole 38 minutes to mine really wasn't that much, and considering that this was a completely normal mission that just happened to include a Crassus detonator and we were lucky enough to be carrying pots of gold, meanwhile, the completely unbuffed crafting minerals were able to contend with what is considered one of the luckiest gold-related events in the game. But I can already hear your comments now. I'm low on minerals all the time. What if I need to craft something later on? What if I need these minerals? If I don't want to buy them back for 3 times the price? Yeah, you talk on and on and on. But here's my method and how I maintain a respectable amount of crafting minerals at all times, while also selling them for a profit. The most effective strategy that I've devised for this is just picking a set amount of minerals and selling anything that you have over that at set intervals. So for example, personally I have 50,000 or more of every mineral in the game, so periodically, usually once every couple of weeks or just whenever I get bored, I'll go off and sell all my minerals back down to 50,000. This gives me a massive amount of credits every time, usually ranging from 1 to 2 million. So even done on a smaller scale, this is incredibly effective and not even close to proportional to the amount of credits you receive from gold. Now, I'd be remiss not to tell you that Mineral Mania modifiers are very volatile and that sometimes they can yield what seems like no more than a normal amount of minerals. But in my opinion and experience, Gold Rush is exactly the same way. Sometimes you have massive veins of gold stretching halfway across a cave, and other times you couldn't distinguish it from a normal mission unless the modifier was in the top left. The pots of gold buff beer should not be discounted for this, but as it's in a rotation of beers and can't be reliably obtained, it's hard to justify it as a mainstay of the gold grind versus minerals. That, and whenever you do have pots of gold, it will massively expand the amount of time you spend running back and forth to the mule or mine head with pockets full of gold, sometimes 3 or 4 times per gold vein. Now, this isn't to say that there aren't some missions that are going to come back with more gold than crafting minerals, but what I really want to emphasize is the speed and ease at which you can receive an extreme amount of credits from these crafting minerals. So for a little bit of homework, next time that you get a chance to run a Mineral Mania mission, I'd like you to try to sell all of the minerals that you receive from it. And if you don't, at least add them together, multiply the number by 50, and jot down what you get. So just kind of remember how much those minerals were worth. And then the next time you get a chance to run a Pots of Gold mission, a Gold Rush mission, get a Crassus detonator, something like that, take down the credits that you receive from the gold, and just kind of compare those two numbers to each other. I know that some random guy ranting at you through a screen telling you how to play the game isn't going to change hearts and minds, so I'd like to make it a little bit more personal and have you do this for yourself and just kind of see where I'm coming from. But just to reiterate before we wrap up, however you enjoy playing the game is absolutely the most important thing. If you want to strip the walls clean and get every bit of gold that you can, then that's what you should do. DRG is not a winnable game after all. There's no max level and there's no real statistical end game or hard endpoint, so really, attrition is the name of the game. The longer that you can enjoy playing it, the more that you've won. While I enjoy being as efficient as possible and rinsing caves for everything of value and leaving the worthless stuff behind, some people will enjoy licking every speck of minerals off the wall, and I can't fault them for that. Just like they shouldn't be able to fault me for playing high speed, high efficiency. But that about does it for me today. If you'd like to come rant at me for telling you not to mine gold, I do stream over on Twitch. If you'd like to send me a DM telling me that gold is the most important thing in the game, you can find us over on Discord. And as always, thank you for watching, and have a nice day.